Alright everybody, what is going on? Today we're doing another flight sim video. So last night my girlfriend was saying, did you know there was a storm getting ready to come through? So, and I hadn't heard about it. So she said, yeah, we're supposed to get this, pretty bad storm tomorrow, thunderstorm, and there could be tornadoes in certain spots. So, we're going to test out Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather today. So that, as you can see, I've just logged in a flight plan here. This is where the storm is currently. I live like farther up here, but this is where the storm is now, as I've got it set to live weather, live time. So I just made a flight plan. I just wanted to find we're doing storm chasing, so we're gonna find like the worst spot. So I went down to the filters and went to the weather layer and changed it to precipitation so I can see the individual storm cells. The system as a whole is the whole thing, but there's individual storm cells, which is like, this would be a cell, this would be a cell, this would be a cell, and so on and so on. So I just made this flight plan going through one of the worst cells that I could see. We've got an RNAV approach. It's a 58-minute flight, 411 nautical miles from Nashville to Memphis. So we're going to be flying the CJ4, Cessna Citation CJ4. I'm using the working title CJ4 mod. This is current with the newest update as of today. I also had to download a new livery. There's only, if you play Microsoft Flight Simulator, you will know that there's tons of liveries and tons of third-party content coming in from all these different places. And when Microsoft Flight Simulator does an update to their game, they're not responsible for making sure that update is compatible with all of these quote-unquote mods. So basically, every time an update for Flight Sim comes out, half the mods quit working. You gotta go back and uninstall the mods, or uninstall, reinstall, update the mods in order to get them working with the newest Flight Sim update. So with the new Flight Sim update, I had to uninstall the previous version of the working title CJ4 that I had. I had to update it and reinstall the new version. And it also states that the liveries in some of the mega packs and the other mods are not compatible with the newest working title CJ4 mod. So I had to download a new livery. It's an Air Canada livery for the working title CJ4. That way everything's compatible. And the reason I chose it was because it had a custom interior, and it was one of the first livery mods that I had seen for the CJ4 that had a custom interior, so I wanted to check that out. So we'll be in here in just a minute. So I was playing last night, and I should have recorded because I got some of the best screenshots last night. I have a Discord. I believe the Discord is Winded Leopard Gaming on Discord. So if you want to go in there, I think I posted some of my screenshots in there. A couple friends in there too, so check that out. So here we are in our Air Canada Cessna Citation CJ4 working title mod, and we are going storm chasing. So as you can maybe hear and maybe see on the windshield, it is already sprinkling rain. So first thing I'm going to do with the working title CJ4, we are going to turn the battery master on. I don't believe we are at a gate where we can get external power. Actually, maybe there's a truck over there, so we can. Let's ask ATC if we can get external power. Avionics will go to dispatch. Ground services, tune to ground. No, all we can do is get fuel supply. So, battery master is on. We'll go ahead and arm the emergency lights. Avionics are on dispatch. I took a picture of my flight plan so that I can go ahead and start putting things in the MCDU or FMS, whatever you want to call this thing. So here we are. Here is our index. There is a spot I thought where it showed that it was the working title mod. Is it DL for download? No. About our mod set, probably. Yeah. Working title mod. Version is the latest version, 11.3. So basically, I need to go to initialize our position, which I need to get back to the home page. Near left side, blah blah blah. Where is my menu? I need to initialize my position, which means I need to be. It's probably on the index. It's not on tune, is it? No, it's gotta be on index. Here it is. Here's our set position. So normally what you can do is you can put what airport you're at. So we are in Nashville going to Memphis. So the airport code for that is KBNA, Nashville International. So we can put that in and see if that works. So you would type that in and you would click it here and it would put it there. This says key not active, so I guess that doesn't work yet. So we can, this is the FMS position. This is set position to GNS. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to copy this and put it down here. So I'm going to click this. Actually, I just had to click the top one and it says complete. So now we can go to flight plan. We were at KBNA. We're going to put that as our origin. And we're going to Memphis. So that is KMEM. The distance is 174 nautical miles. So now we can go to, let's go to departure and arrival, because we were doing a Drury 3 departure, which is right here, and I believe we were taking off 20 left, so we're going to click that, and we are going to hit execute. Now we're going to click departure arrival again. Actually, we don't really need to, because our arrival is a direct arrival. So now we basically just need to plug in the waypoints. Do we have our ILS tuned? I don't see an ILS tuned. Oh, we're not doing ILS, we were doing RNAV. Okay, so we have a nav 1. I'm gonna hope that's already set. So now we should be able to go to legs. And it's showing discontinuity. I am not a pilot, and I am not familiar with all these different airways. I don't use Navigraph or any of those other subscription websites or anything for flight planning. So I just do this. I do this the best way I know how. So, we're taking off runway 20 left. I'm going to delete this vector. So I'm going to hit clear delete. I'm going to delete the vector. And then I need to look at my plan mode here. So what I'm going to do is change this to plan mode if I can. So I'm going to go to lower menu and I'm going to scroll this down to plan mode. Okay, now I can escape that menu and my map zoom, I can zoom this in or out. Oh, maybe my avionics have to be on. I don't want to delete that. I want to just click on it. So if we go reverse the waypoints from KMEN, the one right before that is CLBRN. So right before there, we have CLBRN. Just trying to make sure my flight plan is right here. And I'm just going to click on this, which puts it before KMEN. Just like that. Now before Colburn, we'll call it, I have Covim, C-O-V-I-M. And I'm going to click that before this to put it before that. And then Arnold is before that. So A-R-N-O. Did that not work? Well, that deleted everything I just did. Huh. That's interesting. I don't know what just happened. Okay. Well, let's try that again. We had Colburn, Covim, and Arnold. Arnold Airport Code in Tennessee. I just looked it up. I think it's actually M31 is what it's called. Arnold Field Airport. Hopefully this is all correct. And I don't exactly know, this is part of our departure, but I don't know if we actually need to use these three, so we might end up skipping these three, I'm not sure. But I think we got everything in right. I'm going to go ahead and execute all that. Maybe I can pull up my, does it show anything here? No. Well, it shows our M31. But nothing between that. Interesting. Well, we'll see what the plane does. We'll see what the plane does. Alright, so basically now I believe that is all taken care of. We can go ahead and calculate speeds and weights and all that good stuff. I'll bring up our weight page here. You can go to the perf page, perf init. This says our gross weight is 13,160. This says we are 14,820. Since fuel 2,880 pounds, that looks correct. Zero fuel weight is 10,280. Cargo. It looks like we have 300 pounds of cargo. So we can try to enter that. Okay. It looks like we have how many people times 170? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. So we will enter an 8. and put it here. Now it says our gross weight is 14,820. We are 14,821. So 1 pound, we're 1 pound off. So let's just go ahead and add another pound to our cargo. 301. Alright, now that that is done, I think I set our cruise altitude to be 20,000 feet, or flight level 200. We can now go to the takeoff page. You can enter the wind if you would like, but I was reading the 90-something page manual last night. I got to page 34. Okay, 34, not bad. Almost halfway. Third of the way, whatever. Anyway, it says that the autopilot does not account for the wind, so I don't know why you need to enter the wind, so I'm going to skip it. OAT, I guess that is temperature, so we can tune the ATIS, hopefully, and get our temperature and everything. We'll enter the wind.
Sierra 1700 Zulu. Flight 264 at 22. Visibility 10 in heavy rain. Sky conditions: few clouds at 1,100 feet, few clouds at 4,100 feet, few clouds at 12,000 feet. Temperature 16. Dew point 10. Altimeter 29.68. ILS runway 20 right, ILS runway 20 left, and visual runway 20 center in use. Landing at
2968.
runway 20 left and runway 20 center. VFR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact, you have Sierra. National Airport Information, Sierra 1700 Zulu. Flight 264 at 22. Visibility 10 in heavy rain. Sky conditions.
Alright, we'll tune back to clearance. Okay, so we've got our QNH, we've got our temperature, we've got our wind, we've got our runway wind, runway length, all input there. Now we can hit the next, because you see up here we're on page 1 out of 3. So when we were on our perf init, there was only the one page, and then you click over to takeoff and it automatically takes you here. So we need to hit the next button to go to the next page of this. Auto/inhibit, I leave that off. We're going to be taking off flaps 15, that is green, we have flaps 15 selected. It has all of our weights input and they all look correct, and it has our reference speeds for takeoff and landing over here. So we're going to go ahead and send those to the PFD, which is the primary flight display. Alright, so that says complete. So now we can go to the next page, and that is takeoff reference, structural limits, and all that stuff. We are under all the limitations. So we did our flight plan, we know our legs, we did our departures and arrivals, we did our perf and init page. So we're all executed, we're all done with that. We can call for clearance now, and we can tune our air traffic control, we can tune our squawk code and get the engines going.
Nashville clearance delivery Cessna November 634 Whiskey IFR to Memphis, ready to copy.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey is cleared to Memphis Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 20 left, climb and maintain 11,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.4 squawk 0762.
0762 is our squawk code. We'll push that in and put it for ATC 1. we are going to leave that on standby for now. We're going to read back that clearance and acknowledge it. We are climbing and maintaining 11,000 feet on departure, and departure frequency is 118.4. So we can go ahead and put 118.4 in our recall. That way, if we switch, it'll automatically go to that frequency, I do believe.
Contact ground on 121.9 when ready to taxi.
So we can contact ground when ready to taxi. Okay, so now we can. Let's see. What do we do next? What do I want to do next? I guess we'll go ahead and. Well, we're not ready to taxi. We haven't even started the engines yet. And I don't think we can get pushback. Maybe we can after we get taxi clearance. Oh, we can get pushback. Okay. Let's look at our map here and see which way we need to get pushed back and everything for our runway. We're gonna be on 20 left. So we're gonna be reversing this way and making a big old loop back around because we're taking off from here. Okay, so we need to get pushed back to the right. We'll go ahead and get our taxi clearance and get pushed back.
Ground Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey with Sierra ready to taxi IFR.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey taxi to and hold short of runway 20 left using taxiway golf. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 20 left via taxiway Golf Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
Alright, so we got our taxi clearance. We can go here and get ready to ask for pushback. I'm going to go.
November 585 Mike Charlie requesting pushback.
Oh, someone else is
November
requesting
585
pushback.
Mike Charlie pushback request accepted.
Okay, so now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get the passenger brief pulled up. We are going to go over the passenger safety and seatbelt signs since we are about to get pushed back. We need everybody to be in their seats and buckled up.
Generic November 585 Mike Charlie request to end pushback received.
May I have your attention, please? At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt and no smoking signs.
Mike Charlie
Thank
taxi
you.
to and hold short of runway 20 center using taxiway Charlie cross runway 31 Delta Foxtrot. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
May I have your attention, please? The
Taxi to
captain
and
has
hold
turned on
short
the
runway 20
seatbelt sign.
center via taxiway
Please
Charlie
fasten your
cross runway
seatbelt
31
and shoulder
Delta
harness
Foxtrot
at this
generic 5
time.
Mike Charlie.
Thank you.
Ground Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey requesting pushback.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey pushback request accepted. Generic 5 Mike Charlie hold position caution other traffic.
Alright, so once he hooks up, I'll go ahead and release the park brake and we will
Hold
get
position
pushed back
generic
to
5
the
Mike Charlie.
right. I think I said he, but I think that's a she. Where are you going? Where are they going? There we go. He's hooked up now. Okay, so we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back and to the right. Also, about this interior, look at the little Canadian leaves in the seats and the little carpet in there. It's pretty decent looking. I'll take you guys back to the back here in a minute. That must be that other plane. Alright, that is probably good enough. Oh no, I can't stop it.
Ground Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey, requesting the end of pushback.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey request to end.
Alright, now that we are pushed back and out of the way from everyone, we will go ahead and engage the engine starter. Right engine starter. We'll select a run. So we will monitor that. You will see the N2 starts to come up, oil pressure starts to come up, oil temperature starts to come up. We have, it says ignition over here. Make sure the right engine generator is on, which it is. The left one is also on. Now, once that IGN goes away, then you know you have a good engine start.
Requesting the end of pushback.
Generic November 489er Alpha Mike request to end pushback received.
Alright, so good engine start there. We'll go ahead and do the next one, left side. Quick run.
Ground generic November 489er Alpha Mike with Sierra ready to taxi.
You should see IGN come up again.
Generic November 489er Alpha Mike taxi to and hold short of runway 20 center using taxiway Charlie cross runway tree.
There it is right there.
Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
You also see it says starter right here.
Taxiing hold short runway 20 center using taxiway Charlie cross runway tree 1 Delta Foxtrot generic.
I just realized I forgot to set the parking brake once he released us from pushback.
Generic 5 Mike Charlie continue taxi.
I don't know why it says inoperative,
Caution other traffic.
but I hope we have our RNAV set up.
Roger, generic 5 Mike Charlie.
Alright, so it looks like we have both good engine starts. We can turn our avionics to on now. Now you see we have both displays. We'll go ahead and turn some panel lighting on.
Ground generic November 821 November X-ray taxi to parking. Generic November 821 November X-ray taxi to general aviation.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the displays down a little bit. I don't like them so bright.
Taxiing to general aviation parking by taxiway Golf Charlie generic 1 November X-ray.
Alright. I forgot to turn our beacon light on before we started the engines too. Turn on the beacon light, nav lights. We'll turn on the taxi lights once we get moving. Okay, there's no one in front of me. I'm not blinding anybody, so we'll go ahead and turn those on. Floodlights, we don't need those. We don't need any map lights or nothing. We're going to set the climate control to normal. Turn the fan up a little bit. Turn it on a little bit on the cool side. Don't need fuel cross feed. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pitot-static heat on since we're going to be flying up in the clouds. We shouldn't need anti-ice, I don't believe. So now we should be good for taxi. I don't believe there's a passenger brief for taxi. We already went over passenger safety. We do have a checklist, but we've pretty much already done all of that, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the yokes back up. Alright, so real quick, check out the check out the black seats with the pretty nice, right? It's a pretty nice little custom interior. It's even got the little displays and the cup holders, and the carpet is different. Let's see if we can jump back in the back. I think that's a picture of the couch or something. There's another little picture. It's got a little, map so you can see where you are at all times. It's funny that map actually shows my flight plan, and this one doesn't at all. That is hilarious. So do you guys see that? Let me see if I can get in the drone and show you. I'll go right here. Oh, look at the little maple leaf in the wall too. Man, this thing is nice. Look at the textures in it. This is really nice. Yeah, so check this out. This shows. I need to turn this drone speed down. Wow. But yeah, check this out. This shows the actual flight plan that I made in the planner. But it didn't show it online. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, here we are on the runway, ready to take off to Memphis and do some storm chasing. So we'll hop back to the cockpit. We've already got taxi clearance and everything that we need, so let's go ahead and taxi. Oh. Hello, bus. Okay, so we need to go. I guess it's my fault for being on the road. I'm supposed to be looking here.
Request taxi to parking. Beechcraft Golf Alpha Juliet 881 taxi to General Aviation Parking via taxiway Charlie.
So we're going to be making a slight right, and then we're going to be looping around to the left, so runway 20 left.
Taxiing to General Aviation Parking using taxiway Charlie Beechcraft 881.
Generic 1 November X-ray, continue taxi. Generic 1 November.
There's another Air Canada plane.
The Cessna C25C on the taxiway. Generic 1 November X-ray, continue taxi. Generic 1 November X-ray, hold position ocean, the Cessna C25C on the taxiway. Generic 1 November X-ray, continue taxi. Generic 1 November X-ray, hold position ocean, the Cessna C25C on the taxiway. Generic 1 November X-ray, continue taxi.
Come on, come on. this way. Man, this thing taxis fast. Where am I going?
Generic 1 November X-ray. Hold position, caution, other traffic.
Oh, what? Speed bump. Okay, so I totally went the wrong way.
Hold position, generic 1 November X-ray.
Alright, so let's try this again. Once I get over to the end of this, I take a right and follow it all the way around the edge. And I keep following that edge. This edge. There's that speed bump again. This is a busy airport. We got some GA planes, you know. I'm one of them, but some smaller ones taking off with us. It's interesting that this airport would be so busy with all this weather coming.
Generic 1 November X-ray, continue taxi. Roger, generic 1 November X-ray.
Okay, school bus, or whatever you, big yellow whatever bus. What are we doing? Do planes have horns? Come on, man. Really? Hey, that's what I thought. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness. Now we're on to something. There's the runway. I just saw some lightning over there. Dang, what is they sure got some bumpy pavement around this airport. Also, like I'm at 0 throttle, but this thing is just taxiing like a freaking beast. I'm gonna go ahead and put the 15 degrees of flaps in so I can slow this thing down a little bit. Get some drag happening. gonna put the speed brakes out and test and make sure those work right. Yep, we got speed brakes, we got flaps. That was a bit aggressive. Okay, so let's bring the spoilers back in, and we will bring the flaps back to 15. Verify. Okay. Now, I want to change the PFD. I'm going to put the weather on the right side. You'll see it has a, you'll see when I press this, it has a terrain and WX. If I press it, so the first click is, this is nothing. It's just a map. This is the terrain map. This is the weather map, and this is nothing. So I'm going to put the weather on this side, and I'm going to put the terrain on this side, which is up here, terrain / WX. We're going to put that on terrain. We will check our baro. See, our baro is not set here. It was 29 or 68. So I need to set that 29 or 68. We will escape that. I'm going to turn that brightness down some more. That yellow is crazy bright. And then my map range, I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. So there you can see our flight plan a little better. Actually, I might switch this back to arc mode. That's another way to do it. Toggle traffic display, we'll turn that on just so we know we don't have any other traffic near us. We need to turn our transponder on now. And we should be able to radio in for takeoff clearance.
Nashville Tower, Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey ready for IFR departure runway 20 left.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey cleared for takeoff runway 20 left.
We'll acknowledge that.
Cleared for takeoff runway 20 left Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey.
So we're good to take off. I'm going to go ahead and start the takeoff briefing.
May I have your attention, please? We will be taking off shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Ensure your seat is in the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and push the Toga Mode, which is this button here, and that's going to, on my flight director, which I can turn on. You see how it wants to keep us level here. If I hit the Toga Mode, it automatically inputs my 10-degree climb path. I don't know why it's rolling. Why is it rolling? I guess it's because I was doing right rudder. So anyway, we need to set our altitude. We're climbing out to 11,000 feet on our departure on our way to flight level 200, which is 20,000 feet. There's 11,000. Huh, I wonder why that's not. We'll go ahead and switch this from taxi to landing. We'll go ahead and turn our strobe on. Turn the logo light on.
Clear to land runway 20 right, SkyWest 4086.
And I believe that is everything. We are ready for takeoff. Go ahead and bring the engines up. It's still telling me my parking brake is on, which I already knew. I just like to run up the engines first. There is maximum thrust. We are in Toga Mode. Our V1 speed today is, it's not telling me, I need to pay attention. I'm looking at the speed tape there. It looks like we're at rotate speed. And here is our 10-degree path. We will go ahead and bring in the flaps now. We are at 1,000 feet. Bring it back to the climb detent.
Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey contact Nashville departure on 118.0.
We can engage the autopilot and nav mode.
Cleared ILS runway 20 left approach southwest 10
Landing gear can come up. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen.
Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey, did you copy? Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey, did you hear my last transmission?
ATC is talking to me. I can't see anything. I'm trying to work my gauges all at the same time. I'm I'm trying to get our flight level change, which is the FLC button. So I activated autopilot, I activated navigation, which is just longitudinal navigation. It doesn't affect your altitude or climb rate, anything like that. It's just your longitudinal, your turning, your left to right, you know, my heading. So I press the flight level change mode, which will, you know, it'll flight level change us. And then it's at a set speed, and I was going too slow, so I turned the speed up, which this plane doesn't have auto throttle, so even though I turned the speed up on my flight level change, it's just telling me at what speed does it want to hold the plane at. So the plane is going to pitch to climb at whatever it needs to pitch at to be able to climb to 11,000 feet at 10 degrees and also maintain the 200 whatever knots that I set it. You just heard that altitude called up, so that he said altitude, so that means I'm within 1,000 feet of my set altitude. So when we pass 10,000, that's when he would have said that. And so as we come up on 11,000, the plane should automatically level at 11,000 because that's what I have set.
Memphis Center, Cessna November, 634 Whiskey, 10,800 feet.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey, Memphis Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 29er.
As you can see, I can't.
Cessna 4 Whiskey, climb and maintain 16,000 feet.
We almost got overspeed there. We leveled off. I was looking out the window and we leveled off, and I was still at climb thrust because there's no auto throttle on this plane. So once we leveled off, we started gaining a lot of speed, and I caught it just in time to not have an overspeed warning and have the plane start yelling at me.
Cessna 4 Whiskey, acknowledge last transmission.
ATC's talking to me again. We got to climb and maintain 16,000, so I'm going to change our altitude here to 16,000 as lightning's going off around us. Definitely some turbulence. So 16,000, and I want to meet. So I set 16,000 as not doing anything yet. As soon as I click this flight level change mode, it's going to automatically pitch to whatever altitude I had set, and it's going to lock me in at my current speed. So I just clicked flight level change. The plane is going to start climbing, and it's going to maintain my current speed.
Going to 125.85 Cessna, 4 Whiskey.
So you'll see it's not pitching very much because I had my throttle set to be able to maintain my altitude. So even though if I have my throttle set to maintain altitude at a certain speed, I tell it to flight level change, but I still have the same throttle. It can't, if it tries to pitch up, it can't maintain that preset speed that we told it to in the flight level change. So in order to get it to do anything, I have to either set my speed slower so that it has some pitch up and speed to lose, or I just have to give it throttle. So I have to go back and give some throttle, and now you will see that our VS will actually start to pitch up. So right now it's pitching to maintain that speed. And we're climbing at about 1,200 feet per minute from 11,000 to 16,000. So this little green thing right here, if that is straight across, that means we're not climbing and we're not descending. Our vertical speed is 0, so we're flat and level. Now this is up around 1 or 1.2, so that's about each 1 to 1,000 feet per minute, 2,000 feet per minute. So this means we're climbing at around 1,200 feet per minute. If that was down here, we would be descending at 1,200 feet per minute. This is our altitude tape, and this is our speed tape. Our altimeter I just saw got changed to 2971, so we need to change that. So 6927271. You can see we are up in the clouds now. Sure. So we're about 13,000, climbing for 6,000. We're above 10,000. We can turn off the landing lights. We don't really need the logo lights. We don't really need the strobe lights because we're all up in the clouds. I'm going to go ahead and give the passengers a turbulence briefing since we're in storm chasing.
May I have your attention, please? We have received indication that we may encounter turbulence. The lighted seatbelt sign is being turned on. Please be seated and fasten your light belt. When the seatbelt sign is turned off, you may again move about the cabin.
United 771, you are 51 miles west. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect hard at runway 20 center approach by 10 transition. Clear to 10.
Altitude.
So there's the altitude call out again. So if you remember what that means, that must mean we are at 15,000 feet. We're within 1,000 feet of what we had set. Which means we need to pay attention because when the plane levels off in the next 1,000 feet, which is going to be in the next minute, we're climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. We need to make sure to pull back that throttle so that we don't overspeed. We also just passed our first waypoint. So now we are on our way to, if I click legs, we are on our way direct to onboard 31. And I'm about to overspeed because I wasn't paying attention. You see how quick that happens? So there's so much, this is why you need a co-pilot, because there's so much going on. I can't possibly keep up with all of this plane and the radio all at the same time.
Generic 481, you are 65 miles southwest. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 20 left approach by Reba transition. Clear to Reba. Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Expect ILS runway 20 left approach by Reba transition. Clear to Reba generic 481.
There's some lightning again. Go ahead and get that passenger brief off there so I can see my gauges a little better. So yeah, this is that storm that's headed my way, and it looks pretty nasty. So we got cleared 200 and I missed it. 4 whiskey, yeah, that's us. So we need to select 20,000, 18, 19, 20. So I'm changing that right here, by the way. And then I'm gonna select flight level change again. Actually, I'm gonna speed up first because we lost some speed. As you can see the weather radar, I mean, we are just in all red and pink right now.
After center, Allegiant 1567 is out of flight level 380 for 10,000 feet.
Now that we're above any terrain, range.
Zero left approach via Riama. Transition cleared to Riama jet speed 6907. United 771, contact Nashville approach on 118.4.
So right now, you can see this
Altitude.
circle. There's our altitude cog, and so let's not overspeed again. We have less than a minute. We're climbing 2,000 feet per minute, so now we have half a minute. We have 30 seconds before we reach altitude. 19.5, 19.6, 19.7. See, we're starting to gain some speed already. So this is, the white line is where we are, and the pink line that you see bumping up and down, that is, that is where the wind and the turbulence is affecting the plane. Sometimes, jumps up and down. So now if I start taking throttle out, you'll see that start to drop. See how it's dropping? So the white line is where we are now, and if I leave the throttle to where I have currently set, that is where we're going to end up. It's basically how that works. So if I want to maintain a current speed, I have to try to match those two lines together the best I can. Like that. And this is something that you have to constantly monitor. This plane does not have autopilot. And you will see this constantly kind of going up and down too, because the plane is trying to pitch and maintain that 20,000 feet. So you will see these co-eccentric circles right here. These are my heading. My heading bug is set to 248 degrees. Our current heading is 276 degrees. You add a 0 to each one of these numbers, 240 degrees, 250, 260, 270, so on and so forth. Now this circle, it says 12.5. So that circle from my plane to that circle is 12.5 miles. From my plane to the outer circle, you'll see this 25. From my plane to this outer circle is 25 miles. This is our FMS, our GPS. Our next waypoint is M31, which is Morrow Airport. We are 79.5 nautical miles away and closing. And this pink arrow right here is our wind. So we have a wind coming across our nose from left to right from 240 degrees at 63 knots. 63 knots right now. I'm surprised the plane is even, the autopilot's even moving it to keep us. That's a lot of wind. You'll see, our destination is over here. We're having to fly a totally different heading off by at least 10 degrees so that we are at the right place when we get there to account for the wind. We're not even facing where we're going right now.
Cessna 4 Whiskey, please acknowledge.
Descend and maintain flight level 200 Cessna 4 Whiskey.
It's telling me to descend, but they didn't give me a different altimeter. And yeah. Yeah, they didn't give me anything after 2971. So that's what I'm sticking with.
Cessna 4 Whiskey, you are 300 feet above your assigned altitude. Descend and maintain flight level 200.
Okay, so he gave me 300 feet. So basically what that means is I'm actually at 2,300 feet currently, and that I need to descend. So if he didn't give me my altimeter, I'll try to figure it out myself. So if this is saying I'm at 20,050, but he's saying I'm actually at 20,300, I'm just going to turn this barrel until my current altitude goes to 20,300. Because that's what it's at. And then you'll see the plane will automatically, because I had it set to hold 20,000. When I adjust this barrel, the plane is automatically going to do whatever it needs to do to take me back to 30,000, except for my throttle, which you have to stay on top of because there's no auto throttle, so I got to overspeed more again. Because we were descending 300 feet. So we're clear to Toga.
Tower on 118.3 Cessna, 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
So it said contact them when we are inbound, but we're not even at M31 yet. We are still 59 nautical miles away. So I'm not going to switch over until we pass Arnold Airport. So yeah, I can't see anything out here. I figured 20,000 feet would be enough to get over this thing. But it looks like I am right thick in it. Oh, well that's neat. Looks like I just found a little pocket. Flying through a little pocket of clouds and right back. Oh, light. So if we zoom out here, we can get a better look at what the weather is doing. And we can change this to plan mode by hitting the format button. So by the time we get there, we'll be through the worst part of it. We could start descending to see if we can get into some worse parts of it. Let's do that. Let's descend back to like 11,000.
Tower Cessna November, 634 Whiskey Whiskey 9 or 1 miles northeast inbound Arnap runway 27 approach.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey Memphis Tower. Cleared Arnap runway 27 approach. Altimeter 29er decimal 74 with 232 and 29er.
Dang, so the wind at the airport in Memphis is a 232 degree heading, which is about what it is right now at 29 knots, and that's when we're going to be landing. It's going to be at 29 knots. 29 or 74 is the altimeter.
27 approach, Cessna, 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
Can I request an altitude? I can't. Normally I'd be able to just radio in and request that I change altitude, but I don't think I can do that right now. If I was doing a live ATC video, I definitely could do something like that with VATSIM. So maybe we'll have to do a video on that one day. But for now, suppose we will just maintain 20,000 feet and fly through the storm. I'm gonna walk away from the computer. I'll be right back. Hopefully we don't crash. Alright, I'm back. It didn't crash. I don't think I missed any, did I miss any radio for me? No, we are cleared on approach. Which we're still 33 nautical miles from Arnold. We make a left turn towards Memphis, and that'll be the point where we really start. The wind right now, the 68 knots. We're like 15 degrees. 15 degrees to the left to be able to maintain our head. I really hope we can punch through some of these clouds and get some better visuals. It looks like I chose a bunk altitude to fly at today, and I would change altitudes if I didn't think ATC would start yelling at me. I just turned the half bank mode on, so it limits my banking angle of the autopilot. That way we can get up here and make this turn over the airport. You know, we're at cruise altitude. We don't need to bank at like 40 degrees to make that turn. So that's what half bank is for. But you can always click it off if you need to midway through a turn to correct any like angle that you're off. You know, like if you come into the turn and you realize it's way too shallow of a turn, halfway through the turn, you can click that off, and it'll bank more to correct. Having any icing happening. Oh, actually, yes, we are. It's just now starting in my windows. Can't really see it on the glass yet, but I'm definitely going to turn the wing. So we'll go engine, anti-ice, and wing anti-ice. And now we should see that ice start to melt off. So we are 7 miles from making our left turn at Marble Airport. There's a nice little pocket of some clouds. Yeah, check that out. Well, there's another plane. You wouldn't be able to see that plane that far away through these clouds. That's not realistic. I mean, it is the only other one I see. Yeah, now you can't really see it. Looks like we're starting our left turn. Well, I could choose that camera angle at a better time. Look at that. I ever heard. This is awesome. Oh, that's lightning though. And back to the thick of it. Looks like we did overshoot that turn a little bit. We're having a slight course correction back to the right now, but it wasn't much. There's another pocket of clouds. Moon up there. So now it looks like, let's see where we are on our chart. So we are not that far from our destination. We should probably start descending now. ATC hasn't told me to, but I know that they have a tendency to wait until the last minute. I am going to go ahead and descend to, let's say, 12,000 feet. Actually, let's just make it 11. And I'm going to click the flight level change. And you'll see it didn't do anything because I haven't taken any throttle out. That throttle was set to maintain the altitude. It can't descend and maintain the same speed without me reducing throttle. If it starts to descend, it'll start to overspeed. So I got to take some throttle out. And now you should see we will start descending. I'm going to try to keep it around 1,500 to 2,000 feet per minute. Here's where you'll really start to feel the turbulence is descending because you're trying to descend through all this air. You're not, you're having to play with the throttle a lot to maintain your descent rate. So you'll really start to feel it getting bumpy in gear. We're closing that distance fast. We only got 27 nautical miles till the next waypoint, and we need to be probably below 10,000 feet by the time we get there. So we're supposed to be descending to 3,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and set that to 3,000 when we get there.
Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey Memphis Center continue to code in this plan. Altimeter 29.75.
And 29er
Cessna 4 Whiskey
7.
Whiskey or 29 miles northeast. Descend and maintain 3,000
Clear to cover, expect localizer 27, descend and maintain 3,000.
Clear to COVID.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet. Expect localizer runway 27 approach via Cohen transmission. Clear to Cohen Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
So it looks like we got out of some of that mess back there. But we are not out of the woods yet, that is for sure. Oh, there's one point down there. So I guess I'm not the only one that wants to fly through this storm.
Memphis Center on 134.65.
Is that the rain? So we got 15 miles.
134.65. We're landmark 1350.
Oh, I just bumped my rudder. Oops.
Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey contact Memphis approach on 125 decimal 8.
Let's approach 125 decimal 8.
125 decimal 8 Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey. Memphis approach Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey is at 11,400 feet descending 3,000 feet. Cessna November 634 Whiskey Whiskey Memphis approach continue to co-limit plan. Altimeter 29.75.
So it looks like I had to speed up my descent rate to around 3,000 feet per minute, which is about the most that this plane is able to do. And it looks like I'm just going to make my 3,000 feet by the time we make that turn. In order to not overshoot that turn, I'm going to turn the half bank off, so we have full banking angle for that turn. And I need to start slowing down as well. So I'm going to come up here and reduce this airspeed to around 220 knots. And I'm going to add some speed brake because we are overspeeding a little bit. Alright, I can put the speed brake back in now. Dang, is that another plane right below us? Wow, look at all these planes. Look, did you see that lightning? Yeah, I'm going as fast as I can. Change this down to flap speed. I'll go about 185. I'll go ahead and pop in some more speed brakes. We're coming in hot, ladies and gentlemen, coming in hot. Now, once we get below the flap speed where you see that F15 right there, I can go ahead and bring in flaps 1 now. That'll help us slow down. My throttle is at idle and has been. That's how hot we're coming in. It looks like we do have a localizer, but I do not yet have a glide slope. We're 9 miles from the Memphis airport.
Tower on 118.3 Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
Here's the rain, I hear it now.
November 634 Whiskey Whiskey, 8 miles east inbound localizer runway 27 approach.
Oh my goodness.
4 Whiskey Whiskey Memphis Tower. Cleared localizer runway 27 approach. Altimeter 29.8 flight with 281 and 29er.
Altitude.
There's our 3,000 feet finally.
Clear to land runway 27.
We are cleared to land.
Follow the aircraft on final.
I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach mode since we have the localizer at least.
Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey, please acknowledge. Clear to land runway 27 number 2 Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
I don't trust this at all. 4 miles and we're still,
Autopilot.
Autopilot's coming off, throttle is at idle, we need to start descending fast. I need speed brake, a lot of it, get it. I'm just gonna go all speed brake because like I said, we need flight director can come off.
Generic 4 kilo, Delta go around.
Okay, now where's my airport?
Generic 4 kilo, Delta, please acknowledge.
500.
Oh, is that my runway? No, what? Where am I?
500. 500. Landing gear.
Generic 4 kilo, Delta,
Landing
please
gear.
acknowledge.
That's not
Landing
right.
gear.
We're going missed. We're going speed brakes in. Speed brake 0, throttle. I was supposed to land. I was supposed to land over there. I was way off course. Well, that's what storms do to you, and that's what happens when you don't set up your FMS right. Okay, so we're just making a big loop and we're coming in right over there. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this, zoom it in. So we can see where we're going. I didn't see any terrain that we need to be worried about. So basically, I am just flying with gauges right now. I'm trying to get back to my coal burn. I guess I could try to DIR. CLBRN. Direct coal burn, execute. And now I should be able to reselect autopilot, nav mode. And it should say coal burn, yep, 2.7. Looks like it's taking us back to 3,000 feet. Or no, it's not. I don't know what it's doing. We are rapidly descending.
Autopilot.
I'm disconnecting autopilot. Oh, we are in heavy rain right now. Flight director, go away. I said flight director, go away. Okay, it won't. We gotta get out of these clouds. This is getting real sketchy real quick. We need to turn landing lights on.
Landing gear.
Holy shit.
Landing
how
gear.
Are we descending? Oh my gosh.
Landing gear.
How did that just
Landing
happen?
gear. Landing gear.
Oh my
Landing
goodness.
gear. Landing gear. Landing
Alright,
gear.
so we will be at
Landing
flap
gear.
speed now. Oh, I don't know how we just survived that. Oh, I run this over here. I don't care if it's not our runway, that's why we're going.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Oh, I know why. I disconnected autopilot. Yeah, my trim is 54%. My trim is jacked right now. Landing gear's down, flaps are there. Yeah, see, autopilot can get you real quick. is why you verify. They don't even know me yet. I hit the button, but they didn't do the thing. I'm pretty sure this is 27 right.
Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey, turn next taxiway.
So we'll be following a phone call about pilot deviation.
On 121 decimal zero. For Cessna 4 Whiskey Whiskey.
Jeez, that was intense. We almost died. See, that's the thing about autopilot sometimes, is if the autopilot is controlling all your trim and everything, and the autopilot has your trim at like 80%, and then you like force disconnect it, it doesn't cancel the trim out for you. So like all of a sudden it'll just start nosediving or whatever, and because the clouds, like, we were totally nosediving there, and I didn't even know. I had no idea. And that's, I mean, it's basically how Kobe Bryant's pilot, that's what happened to Kobe Bryant. They were flying in a storm, and you know, there was clouds, lots of clouds, there was mountains, and they got into some stuff, and the pilot was probably not, you know, paying attention so much to the gauges as he was just trying to find a hole in the clouds, you know, and he was descending, didn't realize that he was descending, and next thing you know, there was a mountain in front of him, and there was basically nothing they could do about it. You know, they unfortunately just crashed right into a mountain. So, I mean, you can see how, you know, even an experienced pilot, you know, you get caught in a situation like that. I mean, it can happen to anybody. I mean, all it takes is one mishap, one lapse of judgment, you know, just one split-second thing, one button that you forgot to press, and next thing you know, you're dead. So. Well, I didn't mean to end it on such a heavy note, but that was a flight through the storm that's on its way to my house. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like these kinds of storm videos, let me know. I've always wanted to be a storm chaser in real life. I thought it would be like one of the coolest things to do. And I'm thinking maybe sometime this summer during tornado season, you know, there's a bunch of people flying planes through hurricanes on this game. When hurricanes were coming through when the game first came out, I think Hugo or something like that. And I mean, this is all live weather. It's all streamed from like NOAA centers and everything. Everything that you just saw is complete live time, live weather, streamed live over the internet from Bing Maps and, you know, the NOAA centers, the live METARs, all that stuff. So all the weather is modeled to real life, what's happening in that part of the world right now. So if it can do hurricanes and storms, you know, why couldn't it do, like, say, a tornado? So, you know, so what if we go fly over the plains in the Midwest during tornado season at, like, you know, 300 feet and see if we can't catch a tornado? I think that would be a real test of the weather to see if it can simulate tornadoes. You know, if I hear of a tornado on the ground, I'm gonna run up and turn my sim on and see if I can find it. So stay tuned for stuff like that. Let me know if you like this video. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, maybe even. I'm gonna go find something else to do now. See ya.